abortion at any stage of pregnancy?
This is one of those really painful questions that people raise, and obviously it's really emotional. I think that the kind of late-term abortions that take place are because of medical necessity, and therefore I would hate to see the government interfering with that decision. I think that, again, this gets back to whether you respect a woman's right to choose or not, and I think that's what this whole argument, once again, is about.
In the politics this year, it looks like everybody wants an outsider. Now that puts you in a fix.
I don't think,
does it put you in a fix? Tell us why it doesn't put you in a fix.
I cannot imagine anyone being more of an outsider than the first woman president. I mean, really, let's think about that.
Now, I agree, but
I mean,
your
if you
name...
line up, if all these mothers and fathers bring me the placemats with all the presidents, and they bring their daughters, and they say, my daughter has a question for you, and the daughter says, how come there are no girls on this placemat? So
I agree that is a difference.
I think that's a pretty big unconventional choice.
But you know what I'm asking.
Well, I know you're asking, do we want people who've never been elected to anything, who have no political experience, who've never made any hard choices in the public arena? Well, voters are going to have to decide that.
But they worry that people who are inside are too inside, that's why the economic situation is tilted against the middle class. It's why they always feel like everybody can whittle around the rules, and that's something you have to deal with, right?
Of course it is, and that's why I have an economic policy that is centered on raising incomes, because I think what we inherited from the Bush administration, what President Obama had to deal with, had the potential of becoming a Great Depression, not just a Great Recession. We have now recovered 13 million jobs after losing 800,000 a month when he came into office. So why would we go back to the same policies, call them insider, call them tilted toward the rich, call them giving corporations a free pass to do whatever they want? I'm against that. I've always been against that. I want to go back to economic policies where we create millions of new jobs and where people's incomes rise not just at the top, but in the middle and at the bottom, like they did under my husband. So, I'm not running for Bill's third term. I'm not running for President Obama's third term. But it would be really foolish of me not to say, that worked better than what the Republicans offer.
What role should Wall Street play in the economy?
Look, we need financial markets, but they need to be put on notice that any of their behaviors that impact Main Street, that disrupt the kind of orderly processing of financial transactions, because high-frequency trading is now, going to be making decisions in nanoseconds, or fooling around, as they did in the 80s, in, packaging mortgage securities in a way that really bombed us into the Great Recession. I don't think any financial institution, not just banks, because I think it's important to recognize there are a lot of financial institutions. AIG was a problem. Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. They were not banks in the traditional sense. We need to rein in the risks posed by these financial institutions.
So a final question. Your friend, the late Diane Blair, wrote in her diary, quote, on her deathbed, Clinton wants to be able to say she was true to herself and is not going to do phony makeovers to please others. So knowing you don't want to engage in phony makeovers, give us 3 words that is the real Hillary Clinton. Just 3.
Just 3? I can't possibly do that. I mean, look, I am a real person with all the pluses and minuses that go along with being that. And I've been in the public eye for so long that I think, it's like the feature that you see in some magazines sometimes. Real people actually go shopping,
All right. Well, I'm going to have to really interrupt you. Thank you, Secretary
Thanks,
Clinton. Democratic presidential Hillary Clinton.